Big up, big up, big up, and welcome to Liberal 12th Man Show. I'm the Liberal 12th Man, as well as you are, and that's why you most likely are here, because you love this team and you like to just be in some confines of people that love the team along with you. And we have a panel that is full of those types of people as well, in Lee and Irishman. Brian, how are you doing today?
Yeah, very good, man. How are you?
Good, good, good. And Lee, how are you doing? I know that you're going through some things, but other than the washing machine, how are you doing?
Yeah, good. Apart from
Poltergeist.
that, aside from that, all good, all good.
All good. All right. All right. All right. We can put the appliances aside and get into some Reds talk today. Big up Cedric, by the way. Big up to everyone in the chat as
Hi,
well.
Cedric.
Um, yeah, we should just really just hop right into it. I know it's a talk Thursday, just like there's I want to go as far as to say there's very little to talk about. But I mean, now that we're midway through this week, and we are in an international break, so we won't be having the privilege of seeing Reds continue their uh, their pursuit of glory. We now have, talks have started to open up and look more so on what's going on with our players' contracts and the likes. So we're going to start the discussion out today, speaking on some of the things that I've heard on the Twitterverse or the Xverse. I don't even know if you call it that, but and the other forums that we congregate on YouTube and on the other various internet resources that we all use. And I wanted to start off with something that Fabrizio Romano started to say, and that was that Mo Salah is keen to discuss his future at Liverpool. He's very happy with the new project, slot, and the new directors. This is according to Fabrizio Romano. There are some more that I want to get into because I did watch a really good piece with, or at least it intrigued me. Way like most titles do. They rope you in. They hook, line, and sinker you in with the title, and then you kind of like end up watching the episode simply because you're waiting to hear what the heck made them call it that. But I did watch a piece with Simon Jordan and with Graham Souness, and it's this was our TD. I know that trade. I believe he played for Bournemouth. I want to say he's a former player, striker. Kind of it was
You mean
unfortunately
Troy Deeney?
Troy Deeney. Yes, that's
Yeah, he played for Watford. Yeah. Well, he played for everybody.
Watford.
Yeah,
And it was like,
I've been-
yeah, it's like, yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Simon Jordan and Troy Deeney. My God, I was trapped in a lift with the two of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. A lot of curse words were being thrown around. A lot of interesting takes were definitely going being dropped in this episode.
Professional trash. Let's just say. Yeah, I was going to call it something else, but professional crap talkers. Basically, that's talk sport for you, man.
Yeah, yeah.
They invented the crazy loony calling. They literally invented
the SHIT talkers, basically.
Oh yeah, you rent a gob, and you have to be loudmouth and shouty and have big, stupid, dumb opinions, and basically talk to Barry from Walthamstow on the phone for 2 minutes while he gives out about Arsene Wenger years. Still, you get all the crazies, man, all the crazies. But some of these guys, they need a job. As soon as I think lost his gig on the bigger ones, I think he used to be on a lot of shows like he was saying. I think he lost his gig on a couple of them, like bringing in the younger people kind of thing. There's a lot of the older crowd moved on, so they always end up on beIN Sports or soon has to be on Irish TV a lot when the Champions League starts up again and Liverpool are on. Soon as will probably be one of the pundits on Irish TV, but yeah. I don't think he's in the Sky world anymore.
Yeah, yeah. It's when you get into that, it's kind of like that talk sport, engagement. Yeah, it can get a little messy in there. I remember we were talking about yesterday about the take of remember what was it? It was something along the lines of like the it was the you remember what I know you remember what we were talking about, Brian. It was something about like how it was the Red Devils had an advantage in playing at Old Trafford or something, or I forget the take. It was a wild
No,
take.
it was in our advantage
Right,
that
yeah.
we were
Yeah.
at Old Trafford. That was the way they were trying to size it up, was that it actually, because it was there, that played into our hands apparently.
Yep.
So that's interesting to know. That is interesting to know now that that's how that works. So everybody else going to Old Trafford should probably use that superpower that they have. Apparently, their home games are now away games.
Yeah.
You know, like you say, copium. That's some copium right there.
Yep.
Like, did they? But could I just follow up to that? Whoever said that, it's
sure.
like, I'd like to say to that person meet after this. So, are you telling me you think they'd have a better chance at Anfield? Is that what you're saying? Because that's the natural conclusion.
That's
of
the
your
natural
point.
progression of that conversation, I would say. Yes.
So I'm pretty sure they wouldn't. So
yeah.
You know, that was
but there's a
just
lot.
crazy.
There's a lot. I've seen a lot of Red Devil content creators, basically, twisting and turning, especially with a lot of them had a very strong opinion going into this game that they would have a real viable chance of winning that game, and if not winning, but handling us basically like they quote unquote did last season. But it was one of those cases where I guess we showed our work there. So it is what it is.
It gave them a lot of belief, a lot of false belief, because they played us 3 times and didn't lose last season. Like, it really boosted them. You could see that in chat boxes like all summer and last season, like after the 3 games were over, it was like, you couldn't even beat us, and this isn't one of our best teams. And it's like, all right, it's just one season, mate. We'll see what happens next time out.
They caught the tail end.
That's right.
Of Klopp.
Yeah,
they got the end of it.
I remember the key part, Brian. Remember this key part of the article, or not article, or what they were saying? Because it was a Talk Sports take, and we're gonna get back into the mode thing in a second. But it was the case of that they would have played differently because they were at home. They went for the win. But if they played at Anfield, they would have went for the draw. Like, as they would have been more defensive minded and the likes at Anfield. But because they're at home, they played for a win because they wanted to give their fans a win. They didn't want to play for a draw at home. That was the take. That's why it was an advantage for Liverpool to play them at Old Trafford as opposed to Anfield. That is some real, like bus driver style, like.
And those guys, but
that's
real probably
turn.
That's probably Jordan. You know, Jordan's not an ex-player. You know, Dini and Souness will know that on the list of reasons why footballers win games, for the fans is not number one. Probably not even
this
number
was
3.
The Scottish player too, by the way. This was the
that's nonsense.
The one to play for the Rangers. That's just who said that comment.
Played for Rangers. Who?
This is the remember you were telling me he's a former coach.
You're talking about Ali McCoist.
Yes. That's who made that comment, by the way.
He knows. He knows. Players, number one, they win games probably for themselves or for the team would probably be number one to like win games, to do well in this. Like maybe second might be, for the fans, but don't get it overheated how much players actually care about fans. Some of them do, some of them don't really. Ali McCoy knows this. He's been in dressing rooms. Like, to say that they would have tried to win it for the fans. No, their job is to win football matches at home. Winning for the fans is what they call a residual effect of that. It's not like, come on lads, we're doing this one for the fans. No, you're not. You're going out there to win 3 points, try and win a league.
That
Like
says a lot
everything
about
that
your
happens.
team too, don't you think, Lee? I mean, like if you're in a place
Ali
where
McCoy knows
you
he's
got,
talking bullshit, though. He
yo,
knows he's
I
talking
bet he
bullshit.
does. I mean, I hope he does, because I mean, like, think about it, Lee. If you're a team that has to play, like, as in you don't go in with the mindset of trying to say you want to win the game, you're just trying not to be embarrassed, and you're the most you can hope for is a draw from the game. That's a place where you're just like, if a manager is saying that in the locker room, come on, you know what I mean? I know he's not physically saying those words, but if it's
No, he's
the
Ali
whole
McCoy
bend
is
don't
saying that
break,
shit.
yeah,
Ali McCoy is saying that shit. He hasn't got a clue what's going on in that dressing room. None of them
yeah,
do.
yeah,
So he can only quote them. You can't attribute his crazy ideas to, oh, I heard. If he come out and said, I heard Arne Slot say this, then that's one thing. But,
right,
you
right.
know,
I get
it's
what
like,
you mean.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, come on. We don't know what Ten Hag is saying to these. Obviously, what he's saying to them isn't working. You
it's
know,
not
like, I
working.
think,
It's not
look, I
working.
mean, it's becoming more and more evident to me, at least, that the coaching wasn't, we're being much better. Like, the
Because
management isn't as good. The manager isn't at the same level, okay? Like, but we don't have a manager now, we have a head coach. But the coaching now has exposed not that the coaching was poor before, but that all of the ideas had become stale. And that's what United caught the tail end of, was us right at the end of the Klopp era, where basically most people were just like, look, we're out of here in 3 hours, right? It's Friday. We're all finished. We're done. We're out. It was down in tools like moments from the minute Harvey Elliott said every game from now on is a cup final. They caught the tail end of that. That's what they thought Liverpool was. No, that was the end of 9 years of
yeah,
Klopp just not working anymore. Basically, the air gone out of the balloon, the energy gone out of the room. Everyone knows he's leaving, and they caught us cold. Yeah, but this isn't not the same team. It is literally the same squad,
and
but it's a very, very different team. The coaching, I think, is on a different level now. It's not a dig at Klopp. It is a dig
no,
at
no,
Linders, maybe,
this
but I
is
think
not
the
dig Klopp
coaching
at
is on
all.
a
No, I wouldn't take it as dig. No,
no,
it's not dig Klopp. I
no. But I
was
just think
gonna say
Klopp has
though, it could be,
run his race.
could it not be? No, finish the thought. I'm sorry.
No, I just thought Klopp as a manager with the idea of having to come up with new ideas. I mean, he's 9 years. The guy literally said, like, please believe me, I'm knackered here. This
Mm-hmm.
isn't agendas. There's nothing to read between the lines. I'm fucking done, boys. Come on, I'm done. Mentally,
Yeah,
I don't care. I can't go thinking up another system to beat these guys in the chat. Yada yada. I just can't do it again. I've been at this shit for 9 years. Be rolling out the same team talks, rolling out the same. It gets old, man. It gets old, not just for the guys listening to it, but for the guys saying it. We all hate repeating ourselves, so I just
this
thought
is
it
not.
was a natural
This isn't.
conclusion.
Mm-hmm. This isn't
Yeah, no,
necessarily
there's
what
what.
going against what you're saying. If anything, I was going to say it could be too with the way that teams are playing us, particularly playing us. It could be an advantage as well. It's just like that. I spoke about it off backstage about like the Ange moment. Like I would like to see like an Ange style of like burst of energy, or like a different, just a different meal getting served for breakfast, basically kind of deal. And what I mean also by that is that our opponents as well are somewhat kind of, or not all of them, but maybe our opponents can get stuck into the same mindset that some of our fans, and I mean our fellow fans, have been stuck in thinking that this Liverpool team, because it has a good number of the same players it had before with Klopp, that it's a Klopp team. That's going to be
No,
a Klopp approach, and like,
no,
because
they'll
when
have
you hear all
analyzed the
these
shit out
different,
of us.
huh?
But they will. They'll have analyzed the shit out of us. They'll have sent
Oh, I know
scouts.
they
They'll have
will. They
analyzed.
will,
So they'll know
certainly.
what we're
Yes,
doing
certainly,
different. Yeah.
certainly. But I mean, like, there was it's just American football, but there was like a coach that said, it was a team we played for. The team that is the team that we got was a team we thought we were going to get, and blah blah blah, and all this other stuff. Like sometimes though, you think you're getting this team that you've played for the last, like, maybe 5 years or 4 years or maybe 9 years. Who knows how long you've been playing against a Klopp team, And now all of a sudden, here's this breath of fresh air, different approach to these players that are talented players, but it's just like you're still so stuck in your train of thinking that, oh, they're going to grind it out with this emotion, or they're grind it out with this or that kind of take from a Klopp era team, as opposed to they're going to, because normally you would have seen that heavy metal, like just continue to go for goal, go for goal, go for goal. Now all of a sudden we're controlling the ball. We're not pressing, and at the end we're doing these olays, and stuff like that. It's a little bit of a different grind.
I'll let Lee go in a second. I'll just quickly say it's kind of 50-50. What will have happened there is like what I say. They only have a really small sample size, but they'll have analyzed us and they'll be telling the players, look, they do this, they do that. They're not like this, they're not like that. They're doing. But then you'll have a bunch of guys out there, and muscle memory takes over. Some fullback that's been up against Salah a few times, some other guy that's been up, and they'll expect him to do what they might. But yeah, definitely a small bit of it. So I think that's a part of it, maybe. Yeah, like opposition players used to seeing our players do. Certain
X, Y, and
things,
Z.
and now they're not.
Right.
Yeah, and now they're not. But they'd have been told before. Oh, look, they're playing with Gravenberch here. They're doing this. They're doing that. But yeah, when someone's up against Mo, it's like, damn, he always does that. Now he did that. Damn, why is he doing that?
Right. That's what I mean. Like as in some players are maybe even getting encouraged to do things they normally didn't do before. They might have it in their locker, but they just never really brought it out. That's what I was trying to say. I don't know if Lee has a different take on that or not, but like, do you have a perspective on that, Lee?
No, just what we were saying. Like, we ran out of gas last season, didn't we? Like, they did well to get their 0-0 draw at Anfield, but I mean, they never ventured over the halfway line more than twice, did they, in the whole game?
It's like they had a restraining order.
Yeah. So, I think they just took it for granted that there was a new sheriff in town, like, and all that, you know what I mean? The Ten Hag was going to guide them to a load more victories against us, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Have you seen how their Neville was coming out in Casemiro's defense? He was there's been a lot of there. I told you about how even Stephen Nichols said the same about Casemiro, and he was basically in the defense of Casemiro, saying that yes, albeit he gave away a couple of key things, but like as in he's still a very talented player. The game hasn't passed him by. Blah 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 blah. Neville was even going as far as to say there will be a resurgence of Casemiro this year. There will be, Mark on his mark those words type thing. I was like, okay.
Well, given the evidence so far, it doesn't look likely. Does it that he's gonna all of a sudden just start performing week in, week out? But he's open. That he's open.
Yeah. Let's get back, I guess. Then before I know we got a little bit on a tangent here, but let me read you some of these quotes here. Let me read you some of these quotes. This is
Let's say hello to the people. Bernie.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely say hello. Say hello, Brian.
Yeah, Bernie and all those people. Loads of people that came in there a minute ago.
Oh, I know. There are loads of people in the chat. Appreciate each and every one of you. I see Alexander, Richard with the kind words. I saw those. Red Armchair Supporter, Bernie.
Yeah, Red.
One of our Red Jewels in the house. Always a pleasure to see that. And Cedric, who we said hello earlier. MK Toe, Red for Life. All of you guys, even the ones that haven't really chimed in just yet. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you're just chilling, sitting back, listening, or if you're at your keyboard or on your phone, whatever way that you're watching us, I appreciate you all the same, because you guys are the reason why we enjoy being here immensely. I wanted to read you guys some quotes out here, and again, this is a Graham Souness takes and the likes. Definitely a Liverpool legend. Yeah.
Absolute nutcase.
Yeah. Here we go. So, quote, I can confirm once again that Liverpool and Mo Salah will talk in the next days, weeks, or months. So I can't predict now how long will be the conversations, but there will be conversations to discuss the contract situation of Mo Salah.
Hang on, that must be a Romano quote. That can't be a Souness quote, is it? That can't be a Souness quote.
Well, this is Souness, I think, too.
Souness said, "I can confirm." Really?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like the whole date.
I can double check. I can double check. But yeah, this is like from
as soon as you said days, weeks, or months, that's a classic Romano line. It's like, oh yeah, they're going to talk in the next few days or weeks or months. It's fuck off, Romano, will you? They might be talking in the next months. Great, like, but it's as soon as you said that, it's like that sounds exactly.
Okay, you know what? It could be Fabrizio. Maybe it's just Fabrizio because I do have another.
You might have got your things.
I might. Yeah, I have a. Sorry, my fault. I do have a Graham Souness. I do have a Graham Souness comment here. I do have a Graham Souness comment. This is by Fabrizio. Thank you for correcting me, Brian. Thank you. I don't want to improperly quote someone. At this point, between Salah and Liverpool, it's a possibility for Salah to go on as a free agent this summer, but it's guaranteed at all. Because Liverpool want to talk to Mo Salah and Salah wants to talk to Liverpool. Salah is very keen because it's the same thing. Salah is very keen on discussing with Liverpool about the new project. He's very happy with Arne Slot, the directors and management. So the discussion will take place, let's see, financially in terms of project, in terms of the length of contract. There are many things to discuss. Now, this is the Graham Souness part that I did want to bring up.
Sorry, Romano, can I get some dressing with that word salad, my friend? Come on.
There you go. Yeah. There was really not much there. Yeah, I know. I got you.
A whole lot of words to say absolutely nothing. But no, that's a classic. Oh, the next days, weeks, months. It's just like,
right.
Yeah, whatever, mate. Whatever. Okay, that just literally means.
Well, this is what Graham had to say. By the way, he says Graham has said that Virgil van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold could both end up joining Real Madrid, though that seems a bit extreme in the eyes of the author of this article. He did repeat that on that podcast with Jordan as well and Trey. That's what he was saying, that he could see. Yeah, with Troy Dean. Yeah, or I said Troy.
You got Trey Neone on the brain.
Yeah, I do. He said that in that interview or in that podcast. See, that was Graham's take also in that podcast too, was that he could see both Trent and Virgil leaving at the end of the year and playing for a Real Madrid as being their next team.
I don't
the article goes on to say one thing that is known is that both players are set to be out of contract. Van Dijk is of the opinion that his future will work itself out and talks will happen when they need to happen, with a sense of calmness around his situation. Trent, on the other hand, has supposedly started to look at potential options, with Souness again making a bold statement by stating that he thinks he's spotted a sign that the Englishman is leaving. Of course, it's all pure speculation at this point, and only the people inside the club truly know what's going on. And given the record of Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards, Liverpool fans can trust that they'll make the right decisions.
What's the sign? I need to know what the sign is. What's his secret sign that Souness is spotted in there? Yeah. What's he spotted there? Is it a number on his what's he spotted there, Graham? Graham's got his special.
I think in the podcast, I think he was talking about the way that he was being a body language expert, and he was talking about the way that he responded to being taken off of the pitch that day, and how he could say that this like basically, I'm paraphrasing, this is the body language of someone that isn't fully on board. Is just kind of like rotten.
Yeah, you can say that's easy for him to say, but if you're appearing on TalkSport, especially on site with Simon Jordan, you have to override the pudding, you know what I mean? And people always do on TalkSport, so that's probably where it came from, you know what I mean? He just thought, I'll go a bit further here. I saw him looking grumpy, but I reckon he's going to Madrid. I don't know where he got that about Virgil at Madrid. I
Yeah,
mean,
he threw that in for no reason. That he just seemed to throw that in just for the sake of throwing. And Virgil.
There's an extra one for you.
Yeah, exactly. Just to make it even more of a quote. But Lee, you're right. Like if you go on that station and you don't say wildly controversial things, you won't get asked back on that station.
Yeah.
That's the gig there. You know, they're like Twitter, you know, for grown up men and you know, 60-year-old guys and white guys in a golf club. Most of them. They're that gang. There is a word for them. They're called PFMs, which stands for proper football man. You know, he's a proper football man. Yeah, I'll forget all that stuff. Forget all this. He knows because he's a proper football man. Soon as these kind of guys, that's their whole vibe. You know, they don't want to know about stats. They don't want to know about, even though they did when they were back in the day. They like Sam Allardyce. Sam Allardyce, one of the most innovative coaches in the Premier League, the first to use Pro Zone stats. First man to use stats in the Premier League. Sam Allardyce, the Pro Zone ones. But he comes across saying, "Oh, proper football man, you know, kick it long, none of this stuff." But he was big into all that stuff. But when they go on TalkSport, they'll pretend like, "Oh, none of these foreign lads. Get an English lad in. Get an English manager. He'll know what to do." They big up all that kind of stuff. It's kind of depressing.
Well, there was this too, and big up to Bernie for reminding me. This is something I had in my notes, but I didn't transpose it to the backup copy that I had here. And it was this comment here that she says. She says, McManaman said yesterday on ESPN that, and this was on ESPN FC, that LFC got the transfer window out of the way, and they have started contract talks this week with the players. Why I wanted to bring that up, hope I didn't take away the quote that I had on there too. Let me see if I can find the quote. Because it kind of sparks an interest. They had, obviously he's a former Liverpool player, and because he's a former Liverpool player, he was asked to give his take on the start of Liverpool, and he basically was like, he basically was saying he's not overly impressed just yet. You know, he's still reserving his opinion. He put it to the point of saying something that lines up. He's not overreacting, or he's not giving slot.
Sorry, is this still Souness? Is this
no?
Souness,
This is McManaman.
Oh, sorry. Oh, Mac.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, I knew I'd missed it. Yeah, I just wanted to be
sure.
Sorry.
The quote that Bernie just brought up, because this is awful what she was just saying, because he was on ESPN FC, and it was interesting. It inspired me enough to write a pretty lengthy comment. Comment in regards to what he had to say, because it was, there are some former Liverpool players that don't necessarily they're not exactly kind when it comes to Liverpool takes, despite being a former player. They sometimes take little pot shots at the team here and there. McManaman is one of those people as well.
Yeah, when he says a negative thing, it gets a headline. People ignore all the 90% positive things. Like I've heard him slagged off a lot for being a terrible commentator, and he's not the best. But I've seen him do Liverpool games, and he'll be positive. I just think it's like, when he says something negative, it gets the headline.
It gets headlines.
When he says like loads of positive stuff, no one really kind of mentions it. But like it's not. But I know he definitely is one of those kind of. I have a high bar for what's good enough for Liverpool kind of guys. It's not like he's slagging off what we're doing. It's just like, look, it's good, but don't get me wrong, Liverpool should be here. I think that's kind of his vibe, as it were. I don't think he's necessarily negative. He's a bit dour, but
the ESPN, the commentator or the guy. Well, not to cut you off, I was going to say the host, just to give you some context. The host of ESPN FC. I think his name's Dan or something. He's not a former player or anything like that. He's just a host. When McManaman said the comment, he was like, whoa, like, because there are a lot of people out there that are very, all of a sudden, like, they're seeing this player, they're seeing the type of game that Liverpool is playing, they're seeing the resurgence of certain players, they're seeing the emergence of certain players on this team, and they're really kind of feeling the vibe. And the host was kind of taken back when he heard McManaman say what he said, and like, oh, I'm not gonna. He's like, oh, let's not get too basically
don't go overboard.
Let's not get too worked up. It's only this game, it's only that game, it's only 3 games, it's only.
Can you imagine him? Yeah. Can you imagine him as a parent and like a month before Christmas, his kids are like, so Dad, I'm like, you can imagine him going, don't get your hopes up. You can imagine being one of those real kind of, look, we'll see, maybe, like one of those real kind of like always play down everything, always like, look, don't get worked up, always temper expectations, and then obviously like whatever, but I just think he's got that kind of vibe about him where he grew up in the era of Liverpool fans being next year's our year, next year's our year, next year's our year, and it never was. So I just think he's got that kind of parenting kind of vibe going, well, look, chill out now. You're doing okay. I don't mind him.
Comments he does say some.
Oh, he's way better than most of these guys. So he really.
Oh no, I know. Michael Owens, as Red Armchair Supporter says, like right here, Warnock, and then you have Michael Owen.
Oh, Warnock is a twat. Warnock's a twat. He really is. But these guys, they can come off with like, I've got the best interest of Liverpool at heart, kind of thing, whatever. And I think McManaman is like, look, I went to biggest club in world football and I won 2 European Cups. I know what I'm talking about. I know a good player. I know a good coach. But I don't think he does down that I know football. I don't think he's too bad that way. Maybe if I had to listen to him every week, I don't know. But it is very much, there will be pros out there going, well, look, 3 games, temper expectations.
Right. Oh, yeah. No, I get it. There's people that were like, there's my pushback, and this was my pushback in my comment, was basically that for those that are trying to say about the 3 games, look, each of those 3 games, every game in the Premier League, irregardless of the team you have to play, could be a banana peel, period. Like, as in, every team that's in the Premier League team is in the Premier League for a reason. They're a top-tier team. They're a team that can play on their given day. They can actually give any team problems. Okay? It just so happens that some teams don't bring their A game all the time. But what I was trying to remark about is that people were trying to say, oh, well, Ipswich Town is a promoted team, for instance, right? And I was saying yes, but having a promoted team away as well, not home, but having a promoted team away at their pitch where their crowd, where it's like, in my opinion, is a moment game. Okay. And then what I mean by a moment game is that it's a game where this is their moment, like Luton Town, when we went to Luton, that was their moment. This is they're on. This is like, you were playing other teams. That's all well and good. But this is when the biggest spotlight is going to be on your team. This is when you're going to be, the most eyes are going to be on your club. This is the moment for you to shine, so there's a lot of pressure, but also a lot of incentive for you to play well, and being it's the first game, being it's at their grounds, that could have been a banana peel for us. Being it's a 12:30 kickoffs as well, with us with our history of 12:30 kickoffs, it was a very, very important game for us to get through and not overlook, simply because they're a promoted team, quote unquote. That was my perspective. Then you go against a Brentford club, who I think, then you have a Brentford team being at Anfield, but still Brentford team that is playing well. They're playing so well that they're not even starting the the big name player Ivan Toney in their lineup at the moment, and they're still doing very well. Visa, Muemo, all doing very, very well. Hopefully I said that right. I mean, Brian didn't correct me, so maybe I got that one right. But they're playing well enough that these types of games and these types of teams were the teams that gave us, I won't say problems, but necessarily were the ones that we would draw against last year. The type of teams that would come out and score on us early last year. So it was a real testament of where we had to, what we were going to be looking for going forward in the season. And despite the fact that the style of play wasn't necessarily electrifying enough for the crowd to be, on the edges of their seats the entire time, we still played well. And then rivalry game pops up, the derby, like going against Manchester United. That game, whether it's Everton or Manchester United, in my opinion, you throw aside form. You don't care about that kind of stuff. Teams understand the complexity of this game to the point where they step it up to another level. This kind of game is a game where they could be crap all year, but the most important thing is that they can say is, oh, well, we beat Liverpool, or we beat this team in that game. So that game was a high level of intensity, in my opinion. And I'm like, judging from those 3 games, we've had 3 very important games to get through, and they're not as easy as people are trying to make them out. That's what I'm trying to get across. You can,
okay.
I know, Brian. I know you probably got to take it.
No.
Yeah.
No. I'm gonna start copywriting my match previews, because this is twice now where the description of it is a banana skin game, which is what they are. Banana.
Is that your term? I got you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean.
It's not my term. No, it's not my term. No, it's not my. No, it's not my
Yeah.
term. It's just that's a common phrase. Banana skin games. We did it, but this was my match preview. Twice now I've heard this again. Repeat it back to me. My match preview before the game.
Okay. Nobody. I got you.
So let's go back and watch the match preview to the Ipswich game. You just repeated it basically word for word, and that's the second time. The whole banana skin thing, the whole about
maybe some of us are learning from.
Maybe it's seeping in. But this is what I said before the game. I said all those things. Now they're being repeated after the game. So yeah, let's just let's get props to these are all the things that I was saying before that game.
Yeah,
about it being a banana skin game.
That Manchester United game could have been a real test.
No, but I agree with you. Okay. No, look, I agree with you. You said it. Like, you broke it. Like, I get what you were saying from the start. They were 3 completely different types of games.
Yes.
And they were all, but it's only 3 games. So some people out there, look, it's a 38 game season. Let's see where we are. Let's see where we are after 10 games. Let's see where we are at Christmas. Like, let's not lose our minds either way. Like, if we lost 2, we'd be saying, let's not lose our minds. We can see what we're trying to do. So now that we're on it, like, I don't really see anything other than injuries really being a bit of a problem here. Like, this team is clearly well drilled. This is, like, sometimes you can look at something and you go, that's great, but I don't think it's sustainable. I think what we're doing is sustainable as long as everybody stays fit. It's not like, there's a load of weird circumstances coming into play and we're doing this and that. No, I just think what we're doing is just like, that's not, he hasn't invented something on the fly that's going to wear us out. It's not like Beelzebub. It's like, no, this is totally sustainable. So I can see it. Yeah, look, we're going to lose a game at some point. We're going to
lose a game here or there. Sure. We're not going to go undefeated for the entire season. I understand.
Yeah, but I don't think it's just, look, it's 3 games in, so let's just be happy where we are. Let's not extrapolate it out too far or either way. But it's more about, I'd be more interested in listening to some people out there that were kind of insinuating from day one that this guy was a no mark, that this guy didn't even deserve the respect. He deserved fake respect.
And he was just a placeholder, that he was just someone the fake respect.
I'll back him because he's a Liverpool manager and I'm a Liverpool fan. I'll back him because he's coming this kind of thing, but with the snidey side wink and the little comments thrown in after, like, these people out there that basically wrote this guy off before he came in,
Right.
and he's coming just quiet as, like, he hasn't really made any big noises, any big decisions. He's come in, he's gotten on with the job, and he's shut most people up, I would hope. I mean, maybe they're just waiting for him to lose a game, but there was a lot of negativity, and it was kind of under the radar negativity, dressed up as like kind of backhanded compliments.
That's exactly why I'm saying. That's exactly why I was saying the point of emphasis or giving context to each one of our opponents. Like, people were like dismissing them as, oh, they're this or they're that, and I'm like, I can understand the fact that you can classify them as this or that, but let's not take away the credit that is due to these teams in that they all have their own set of complexities or set of difficulties that we'd have to run across and have to navigate with each of those teams. And I will say this too. I see Richard's comment. Richard saying Manchester United is our rival. Everton is nothing, and maybe gets relegated. Look, we can't say that because last year, what did they do? I mean, I know for speaking to Lee's a man who has, has Liverpool ties as well as Everton ties as well, and it is not a nothing rivalry, as not, at least that's what I perceived as being.
Yeah, that's sorry.
Everton's one of those teams again who have been more so mid-table, if not lower end table team that as long as they play well against Liverpool, there is a little bit of glimmer of success for their year. That's how I've read it. Am I wrong, Lee?
What with Everton?
Yeah.
They'll find it tough to stay up, definitely, this season. They'll find it tough to stay up, I will say that much. Like, Nottingham Forest was probably their next game, aren't they? I thought those first three fixtures were all tricky. Ipswich away on the opening day, promoted sides are always tough on the opening day away from home. You've got to spring in their step, their own fans behind them. It's a known thing. It always has been hard. At Brentford are an awkward customer, home or away. Probably more difficult at their stadium, but they're still difficult at home. Brentford, they're not an easy team to just brush aside, are they? And then Man United away, so they've three fairly tricky fixtures, and we've got 9 points and haven't conceded a goal. I mean, Nottingham Forest, I'm not expecting much opposition from them. Maybe I'm just hoping that, but I'm thinking we will just brush them aside. I'm hoping we will anyway.
It helps that we're at Anfield. Yeah, it helps that
throw
we're at Anfield.
Throw a few goals in there,
But just can you speak on though the Everton rivalry? It is. I mean, is it not? Is that not something that
in Liverpool, in the city itself, all over the city, and around Merseyside and other bits that are close to the city, it is better, the relationship, and it has been for a long time now. And it's different when it's a family member, like my dad's, my birth father sports dad, my stepdad, who I grew up with, is a Liverpool fan. That's why I support Liverpool. But yeah, my dad's sports Everton, Mike, and there's no bitterness between me and him. He's not that type of man. My dad, he's not.
Right.
He doesn't think about football. He watches out for Everton's result and doesn't really give a shit who wins anything else. You know what I mean? He's just into Everton. But yeah, it's better with with friends, just personal friends who just started saying really nasty things about Liverpool to me as a club. In the early 90s, it was. I noticed about 1993. I'd say he was just saying the worst shit ever, and you're like, Jesus, where did that come from? But that is just stands now for them to describe Liverpool.
I have a deeper question then. If Everton were to get relegated, do you think that the impact on the city would be very I don't want to say traumatic, but it would definitely be a heavy impact on the
Yeah,
city, considering that you won't have that rivalry to rely
yeah.
on.
I'd miss the derby. There are lots of Liverpool fans who say
Yeah,
they wouldn't. I'd miss the derby.
me
But
too.
I mean, Everton have been in this division so long, mate, longer than anybody
Mhm,
else. I think nobody's been in the
mhm,
division as long as Everton, and that's some record. That, as crap as
Hmm.
they are now, and as much as we laugh at them, nobody's been in the top division as long as Everton have, mate.
mhm,
You know what I mean?
mhm.
Yeah, they represent the city as much as Liverpool did, and like I always say, the best times were when
The 80s.
Liverpool were, well, not just because it was the 80s, but when Everton were the second best team, but Liverpool were the best team. So that meant
Mhm.
that the two best teams, uh, not wanting to get all political about it, but like in two fingers up to Maggie Thatcher, the two best teams in England were in Liverpool. All those
Right.
London clubs, yeah, whatever. The Manchester boy, yeah, whatever. The home
Yeah.
of football, the best. It was like having AC and Inter Milan.
It
And
wasn't
I
because we had rich owners; it was because we had
no,
managers.
yeah,
The only
and it
reason
just
like
brought all the attention to
Manchester's
the
had the
city.
same thing where it's had like one and two
Yeah.
sort of thing a bit is because of the money with
That's
City,
one
isn't it?
unique thing
Like,
you could probably. I was gonna say that's one unique thing too. You could say about Everton and Liverpool's rivalry, as opposed to Manchester United and Liverpool's rivalry. Manchester United and Liverpool have never really been in a title race in the same year, really. Whereas they were like, neck and neck, 1 and 2 type situations, as opposed to what you just said for Everton.
Oh yeah, they've well, no, that's a fact. Yeah, they've never actually gone head to head over the course of 4 years, where it's
Right.
United v Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact. Definitely, definitely. That is, their eras didn't really overlap, but it was
Mm-hmm.
more like someone I saw a load of thumbnails that were going up for the live streams before that game that were talking about, the derby,
Mm-hmm.
Liverpool. That's not Liverpool. Man United isn't a derby. It's
It
not a
isn't.
derby.
I know. Yeah.
Liverpool v
A
Everton. That's a
rivalry, but
derby.
not a derby. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a rivalry. It's not, but people out there like that really annoys me when people just like go, "Oh yeah, I know it's not called that, but if everyone starts calling it that, then we can call it that." It's just like, right,
I mean,
okay,
it's
whatever.
put out there by commentators,
It's
by
not a
like,
derby.
yeah. I know it's not technically, yeah,
Yeah,
certainly. Yeah.
no, it ain't. Yeah, technically, either it just ain't a derby, so people should not call it that.
Mm-hmm.
Liverpool Everton, that's a derby. And it is like someone said,
Right.
like Richard saying, it's not a rivalry. Come on, I know they're down at the doldrums, but you like ask Lee, like you go out on the streets in Liverpool and say, "Oh, is there still a rivalry between Liverpool and Everton?" Fucking hell yeah, it
There
still
will always
matters
be
just as
one.
much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it
That's
will.
that's all we're saying.
Like they could be
That's
in
all.
League Three, definitely, and there'll be still Liverpool fans out there going, "Yeah, it's basically the thing is, what's the first game you look for when the fixtures come out?"
Oh, excuse me. Mhm.
And you'll still get Liverpool fans who go, "Yeah, I look for when it went Everton at home, and then Man United. That's what they do.
Mhm.
That's what they look for."
Mhm.
Or some people will say they look for Man United. Now these days, yeah, cool. But if it's not Everton first, it's Everton second.
Right.
So
Right. Just I was just wondering.
It's only
Like
in
that's
recent years that they've slipped away so badly and been like relegation fodder
yeah,
every
yeah.
season. Before that, they were reasonable, and comfortable in the division. Like, but now it is. It's a battle for them to stay up every season now. Seems to be getting tougher every season.
yeah, but I mean, it also isn't exactly the greatest when again you have what seems like a football philosophy of just don't lose. Go out there and try to hold on to a draw as opposed to go out there and just play football and win the game. That's what it seems
Well,
like when it comes.
they've gone with Dycheball.
Yeah,
They've gone with Dycheball. All that money they spent before is the problem. That was kind of okay if the people that were doing it weren't, as shady you know, as fuck. That's all come back and biting them now. All that money they
yeah.
spent
I
was
guess so. Somewhat
insane.
of what Callum is saying right here. Everything used
Yeah,
to be
man.
like 7 and 8. They got rid of Ancelotti and fell off a cliff.
Yeah, I think they finished sixth under Ancelotti, but they couldn't keep up that kind of level of investment. That was the problem.
Mhm.
They spent big on some really really bad players. 45 million on Gylfi Sigurdsson. That was not sustainable, and now they've ended up where they are. It's absolutely crazy. But like I've always said, I don't want them to go down because it's better for the city to have two Premier League teams in it. Manchester has two. Liverpool should have two. I don't care if it's Everton. They can finish sixth or seventh or whatever. They won't be like it's up to us to make sure that even if they are, we'll always be the top team in Liverpool. It's not, oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we want rid of them so we'll always be top dogs. No, if that's the way it's like, no, it's weak. Let
Yeah.
them finish second. It's
Northern
more
City,
fun that way.
we have one team like Newcastle, Sunderland, Middlesbrough. There's only one team in them cities, like, and Leeds is another one, like, only one team in that city. And it's a big city, Leeds. But
Man City don't deserve that success. I'd rather see Everton have had the success that Man City have had than see Man City have had it, because City don't deserve any of it. I would much rather have seen Everton win a couple of leagues than seeing cheating, pure bullshit, 115 nonsense, sports washing crap win league after
Allegedly.
league after league.
Man City overtook
Allegedly.
in the number
There's a
of leagues.
case. You know how they're
Like,
roasted.
Yeah, those boys.
have they overtook Everton yet, Man City? I know Chelsea haven't, I don't think, for league titles, like, in the club's history.
Oh, I don't know.
I think Everton's 8. Everton have won 8.
Won't be far off. They won't be far off, man. Yeah.
I have, and this is something that the chat can participate into, but I have I guess like you could say the red pill, blue pill thing, or maybe it's like card A, card B. But I have two questions, two very, very difficult questions to answer. And I will ask one to Lee and I'll ask one to the Irishman. You can, in the chat, can answer both. But do either one of you want to step up and go first?
No, Lee can have the red pill if he wants it.
Okay. All right. All right. So then the red pill, which is, I guess that would be what, is that the reality one?
I don't know. I never watched it actually.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
sure which one
I don't remember which one the red pill is, or if it's a good.
The red pill takes into the Matrix because it's
let's just
let's just say, do you want question A or do you want question B? That's easier to put it that way.
As Trap Joe would say, I'll take question C.
Yeah, yeah, I bet you will. Question A or question B, Lee? Which one would you like?
B.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Whose career as captain would you rather have? Stevie G or Jordan Henderson?
Yeah,
Easy.
Gerard. Okay. All right. As I got, and this is not related to their individual brilliance. Has nothing to do with their talents or the skills or whatever. I'm talking about the memories and the titles and all the stuff that they got to enjoy as captain. You would rather go with Stevie G.
Yeah, starting with the treble in 2001 when he was young Stevie with his cropped hair, like, and quite.
But he wasn't captain. He wasn't captain.
Oh yeah, he wasn't captain yet. Then was he?
Nope.
He was
only as captain. This is only as they were.
Oh, well, that's okay.
Yes,
well,
I put that in there.
Well, I know, but you said as captain. It was but you didn't say literally. Yeah, I mean it was a bit throwaway. Like, what years was Gerard captain for? I mean, I think everything good he did pretty much as captain. I think, right?
Yeah,
I think
I mean, he was captain when we won. Yeah, when we won the Champions League, he was captain of that team.
Yeah.
So,
like he was captain when we did the cup stuff. So yeah, but I mean,
well, he's rappers.
You can stick with it. I'm not trying to influence you to say Hendo. I'm just making sure. DVG or Hendo, captain years. Which captain? What ride through as a captain would you rather have had? Stevie G years or Hendo years?
Yeah,
basically.
Okay. So
that's like basically the question. I'm looking at the chat too. I'm looking at the chat. seeing what they. I'll be saying what it is. So Stevie G, you're sticking with it, right, Lee? Stevie G.
Mhm.
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
I'll say Stevie G.
Let's see. In the chat, Richard went with Stevie G. Red for Life went with Hendo. Okay. Hoppers went with Hendo. Yeah. Okay. Stevie was an absolute pleasure to watch. So Stevie, I think Stevie for her. Okay. Local lad. I got you. That was for Bernie. Callum went with Stevie. I think Stevie carried us. He's a man of Liverpool. Even Evertonians look up to him. Red Armchair supporter went with the Hendo.
Is that Cal from Coppish, or is that a different Callum?
No, I don't believe that's Cal from Coppish. I don't believe so.
Okay, that's the only. Okay, but hi Callum. I don't know Callum, so hello.
Yeah. Callum just joined us. I think yesterday or a couple days ago.
Oh.
Pleasure to see you. Pleasure to see you. See you back.
Yeah,
too.
Cool, nice one. Hendo years.
Yeah, Cedric went with Hendo. I know it's a tough question. That's why I said I definitely gave you context. I said it's gonna be 2 tough questions. Just imagine that's B. B was not. I thought A is a tougher question than B. So all right. So we'll see.
That Callum.
All right.
Okay. No, I remember that.
Let's see.
Sorry. Callum.
By the way, I guess Brian, he knows you from.
Yeah, no, I was just I was saying. Oh yeah, no, sorry, yeah, no, I remember. Callum, hello, yeah, I'm Barney. I probably remember him as well.
Oh, okay, Bonkers. I thought you had picked one. I'm sorry. I'll give you some time. We're about to move on to the next question. So you gotta
I mean, like I'm going to answer these questions. Well, you could double what Hendo won as a captain, and I'd still pick Stevie G. In 50 years' time, people are still going to be talking about Stevie G. They won't be talking about Henderson. They won't. They just won't, because Henderson, you're just talking about trophies, right? Yeah, whatever. Stevie has left an indelible mark on this club. He's left an imprint on this club that is never, that people, like I say, in 50 years, people will still be saying, oh yeah, but you never saw Gerrard play. You never saw Gerrard. They will not be talking about Hendo. I would take Stevie's career. I know you're saying captain, but even that, I would take it in a heartbeat. Like, that guy is iconic. He is statue already type material.
Yeah, I agree.
Gerrard, so.
I agree. Yeah.
I mean, he scored
two
like
great
that
players,
goal against.
Great players.
One great player.
I don't think Irishman is either. I'm just saying, just captain years, just their captain years, like, which one would you rather experience yourself? Would you rather experience the Liverpool years or the Hendo years?
Yeah. To me, to play with Alonso and play with people like that, that'd be another thing. But just to be Stevie G, I mean, that guy will never, ever, ever buy a drink in Liverpool again. His grandparents or his grandkids won't have to buy a drink in Liverpool. He's that kind of guy. So,
all right, Bonkers, we need an answer, by the way, Bonkers. We need an answer, because I'm going to bring up a question. I'm going to give the question A right now to him. So, Bonkers, you got to give an answer. He said that he didn't give an answer, so but he wanted to. So, I'm going to give you the opportunity. Hendo or Stevie G? All right. Well, maybe he doesn't want it. Maybe he doesn't want to stay.
Like,
maybe it's too difficult of a question.
If you offered fans, say, like they were on like a ticket, say some kind of ticket, right, that cost like €1,000, right, and there was 100 fans on it. This is just a genuine question. And part of their €1,000, like
who's the player you get to meet? Yeah,
was a meet and greet.
Yeah,
one was Stevie G, the other was Gerrard. Yeah, how many do you think are going for?
Stevie G or Hendo? Yeah, I get you.
Sorry, Stevie G or Henderson. How many do you think are going for Stevie G? How many do you think?
I think 100.
I think you're going. Well, I'd like to hope so, but I reckon
unless they're related to Henderson, maybe
70, 75, 25, maybe.
Yeah.
being
Absolutely.
generous to Hendo 75-25. But yeah, you're taking that Stevie G box
All right.
on your ticket, man.
I feel you. I feel you. It's just a question, people. It's just a question. I see
It's
that
just an answer.
Bonkers went with Stevie G as well. Good for all of you. No, I have no malice or no judgment on any of your decisions, people. Two great players. Two great players. All right, well, now this is the second question. And this is for the
I'll
Irish.
answer Callum's question after this because that's a doozy. Yeah, you had to throw that one in there. Yeah, that was a nasty.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all been there. Okay, we've all thought about leaving and changing our minds. That's it. Let's just say that. I know. Come on, man.
This is a question
He
for
stayed.
this
He
is a
stayed.
question for you in the chat, as well as question for Brian. Who in their prime is the more talented left footer? Barnes or Salah?
Barnes by a mile.
Well,
Because,
no, this is for Brian. It's for Brian. Don't help him out, Lee. Don't help
sorry,
him out.
I thought you were talking to me.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, you already got your question. That was your question. This is Brian's question. Who in their prime is the more talented left footer? Barnes or Salah?
Aye.
Can I say why I said what I said before Brian goes?
What? No, wait, no. Let him go. Let him.
Because you'll
Let
probably
him.
say
Let him
what
wallow.
I'm
Let
about
him.
to say.
Let him swim. Let him
Okay.
swim.
I think, yeah. Look, someone will come back. Someone will come back and say Barnes
I
didn't
know
score
different
that amount of
eras. I get
goals.
that. You can
No,
you can weigh that into your answer if you want, Bonkers.
Yeah, no. I'm just gonna some people will come back and say, well, Mo scored 300 goals, right? As if that's just the answer. As if the biggest number is the answer. Okay, if someone wants to do that, that's fine. But I would have to say John Barnes. But not as good a winger as Salah, but yeah, but he played in centre mid. He played DM towards the end. I just think as a more naturally gifted footballer, I would say definitely. Well, not definitely, but I would say Barnes. But I mean, if someone wants to talk about goal scoring or anything like that, yeah, numbers, whatever. But the guy, I think Barnes just. Yeah, like I said, like Mo isn't going to start playing in centre mid.
Okay.
He's not going to start. So I mean, I would say just to me, Barnes was maybe not as devastating, but that was a different time as well. He played as a winger, not a
I get
goal
it. Different
scoring winger.
eras, double nine. I understand
So
that.
So there's that as well.
On the left,
But no, I've only just heard the question, so you have to allow me time to work it out in my mind.
Yeah, I got you.
So yeah, look, Barnes was a winger back in the day when you played 4-4-2, and a winger played on the wing. So, but then like all the stuff he did after. So if the question is who was like the more all around naturally gifted, more talented, I would have to say Barnes. But that's if anybody even attempts to say, "Oh, you're saying Salah shit." No,
we're not saying that.
come
at
on.
all.
So
Saying
like
that.
I just think like I say Barnes could go into the middle and play as a centre mid and all that. So I come on. Yeah, it's a horrible question, but
it was a horrible question. Okay.
Yeah, but it's a horrible one to have to pick.
Very,
You know what
very,
people are like.
different players. Very different players, although they're both left.
Yeah, very, very different.
I played, like we said, John had two forwards, like, in the middle, he had Beasley and Aldridge, or whoever was in the middle playing that week. Like, he had them two, like, he had
the goal at the Maracana. Look it up if you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, look up the goal that John Barnes scored for England against Brazil in the Maracana. If you want to know what he could do, I mean, pure Maradona dribble past about 6 players and just.
No, you weren't getting the ball off of Barnes. Yeah,
John
Barnes
was a regular scorer, like in that side. His numbers were good before he got his his Achilles injury, like, and ended up in central midfield.
That's why I said prime.
A lot
I
of
said
people.
in their prime.
Oh yeah, primes.
His
primes, yeah.
mastery of the ball, the way he struck the
Right.
ball.
I wasn't trying to use like, oh, this he was injured, or oh, Salah wasn't a part of the prem in this year, or that. None of that stuff in their primes.
But if you ask a lot of players from a certain generation that not
I
even
know.
Liverpool players,
I know. Stevie
who
Nichols'
their favorite player was.
Stevie Nichols
John
said
Barnes.
that Stevie Nichols' answer was John Barnes as well.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of young kids, especially because he was a trailblazer in a lot of ways. Like he's an understated icon because he had a bit of a weird post-football career.
Mm-hmm.
He's yeah, for an awful lot of people out there, they're like,
oh, for the chat all the way down the line. I don't think I've seen one Salah shout right now.
No. Oh no, that's case closed on that one.
He was exciting.
I thought it was going to be more difficult. I thought Salah would get.
I'm glad people were able to kind of look at it from a wider angle and just go, yeah, you're talking about one of the best players ever and one of the other best players ever.
Right.
And asking to pick between two. It's like, it's not no slight on either one, but
I think it's a tough question to answer. It's certainly a tough question. That's why when it was asked for, it had distinct characteristics in saying left footer, in their prime, trying to make it as narrow of a interpretation as possible that you
try and be that creative.
Either of them in the sides that the other one's in, imagine John in this one, and imagine Salah in the old late 80s, early 90s one.
I see John in this side. You see John like as a Szoboszlai. He wouldn't be a Diaz, tracking back, working. You just imagine him much better off playing that 10 type role, just drifting around, creating stuff. Mm-hmm. You're not asking Barnes to.
I like his shot. He never blasted his shots, John. He always caressed his shots way beyond the keeper's grasp in either corner.
TW. How you doing, TW74? Big up to you. Evening to you. He says Barnes by a country mile. A lot of Barnes love. I like it. I'm not saying there's no judgments. 10, we're not saying that Salah's a bad player. We're not saying Barnes is a bad player.
Well, you know what I mean? I'm a middle-aged man. I was a schoolboy, like, when we bought John Barnes, and that was my favourite ever Liverpool team, the 87-88 season. That was my favourite ever season, ever. Oh, man.
He was a big man. He was carrying a lot of timber, but you could still get around.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, I was saying Salah's defense. Salah is a winger as well, but he's scoring like a striker.
Salah's a goal scorer. Salah's just a goal scorer.
I mean, like he is. He does. That is a talent within itself. In that he is an incredible goal scorer, and
yeah, John was in the team.
Is incredible. But, maybe Pops is
never his job.
Pops in the house. Big up Pops.
Yeah, Pops. Yeah, that was never Barnes' job. Barnes was supposed to. Someone else scores the goals. If Barnes gets 8, brilliant. But it was on. I
think there was on like one or 2 years that he's actually gotten like double figure.
Yeah, exactly. Mo is just a machine. He's a goal scoring machine. He's like late stage Ronaldo.
But that's why also I'm like, you look at talent, maybe.
Barnes dropped back.
It's really difficult to compare.
I understand. I'm trying to give the Egyptian king a little bit of shine.
No,
here,
of course, but it's just like
everybody went Barnesy. Everyone went Barnesy on this one.
Yeah. No, you just can't. I mean, it's like asking to the whole pick between your children kind of thing.
Yeah, totally.
It's just.
And I know Barnesy was on the top. He was the top goal scorer at one. He wasn't, every year type top scorer for.
I'm sure there was one season where he just got an absolute hatful. It could have been 89, 90.
Early days.
Early on.
So I think he's one of the few. There's only like a few. It's like a handful of players that have scored 10 goals plus 10 and had 10 assists in a season. And I think Barnesy was one of them, actually.
Wish we could ball.
I mean, Mo Salah's done it 3 or 4 times.
He
You
on the
know?
left.
Definitely deserve more
You know,
time.
he was playing on the left wing before we bought John. Brian, it was Ronnie Whelan of all people.
Yeah.
Playing on the left, like, and we'd have Craig Johnston on the right with his pace and his zip. But Johnston couldn't dribble. All he was pace, Craig Johnston. And on the
Yeah.
other side, we'd have Whelan, like, cutting in on his right foot.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It looked shit, and it was shit, to be honest, to watch. And I was only bloody 13 then or something, and I could see it was shit, and it needed to change. And we got John and Ronnie came inside with Steve McMahon. Just like the best midfield you've ever seen, with Ray Houghton on the other side. It was incredible.
Yeah.
I made
No,
that.
no, Pops, you said it earlier on. Totally different.
Totally different. Yeah,
era.
I tried to make the question as specific as possible. It had nothing to do with like, it just more of, it was just more who in their prime is the more talented left footer. That's all I was asking.
Yeah, still go for El Barnsley. A bit more in the locker.
Okay.
Bit more strings to the bow in reference to Mo's new celebration.
Yeah.
Just one or two more strings to the bow.
Yeah. That's just fun. That's fun questions. We'll have to do that again sometime.
But it would be actually hilarious if I was proven wrong and Mo Salah did finish his career playing as a defensive midfielder for Newcastle.
Yeah, or something.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know.
Hilarious. Maybe you might see Mo Salah as a cam for us or something this year or something.
I'll throw one out. Okay. Now I'm sure. Hopefully nobody has. You may have gone on Wikipedia, but just as a random trivia question, I have asked this before. Hopefully no one's remembered it. Which London club was John Barnes' final club? Which London club did John Barnes retire at? Because I was talking about, like I was saying, Newcastle wasn't his last club, but he did go to one other club in Newcastle or in London. So anybody in the chat know which London club John Barnes retired at, played his last game for?
I would have said. I would have said what Bonker said.
Yeah, Bonker's got it. Yeah.
Okay, I think I just remember that because you asked the question before.
Oh yeah, I did. I asked it before. Yeah, I thought it had been a while, and maybe some people weren't there. It was still fresh enough. So, yeah, Bonkers is right. Went to Charlton. Yeah, I think he only played like 4 games, like between like 3 and 8 games or something. There, he he went there and he basically was just like, yeah, fuck this. And about 4 weeks later, it's like, yeah, that contract thing, yeah, forget that.
Hello to Miss Southwood, by the way.
Hi, Marianne. Hey, Marianne, with all the Suez Kama.
Yeah. There was also which would you rather talk about, by the way? Would you rather talk about the 5 players, the 5 most popular linked players that we were linked to and what they're doing right now, or would you rather talk about 22 former Reds and what they're up to now in their careers?
No, the second one.
Second one. There was an article recently that kind of went through what some former players are doing right now with their careers. It was a tab on 22 of the players, 22 former Reds, and where and what they're up to these days. It's kind of interesting to see, where and what they're up to these days. I mean, Shaqiri, for instance, he's in the MLS right now. Or was in MLS, excuse me. And now he's moved to his boyhood club of Basel.
Or did he go back to Basel, did he?
He went to Basel,
but when he was in the MLS, but he was playing for like a Canadian team, wasn't it? One of them in Toronto, or was it?
No, he's playing for Chicago.
Oh, he played for Chicago Fire. Yeah, Chicago Fire. Yeah. Sorry, yeah. I didn't know he'd gone back to Basel. Okay, fair play.
Mm-hmm.
Fair play.
Mm-hmm.
Probably
former Reds teammate Adam Lallana followed a similar path, rejoining Southampton after leaving Brighton. Yeah. So South Coast is not a bad place to finish on the career, right?
Doesn't have to move house if he ever did
Yeah.
move house. But oh no, it's a nice place,
Yeah.
that part of the world. If you have to live in England, it's not the worst part to live in. So Bournemouth to Southampton or Brighton to Southampton. Yeah, pretty nice. Pretty standard.
Dominic Solanke, we all know, is playing for the Spurs right now. Raheem Sterling is playing for Arsenal. I always get his name wrong. Sorry about that.
It's actually funny there because if you'd actually called them, like you called Spurs the Spurs, which they aren't. I'm not having a go.
Hotspurs. You want to say Hotspurs?
Well, no, they're just called Spurs. But if you
Mhm.
had actually called Arsenal the Arsenal, then you would have been right with the added the, because they should be called the Arsenal. Yeah, I can't remember what the name for that is when you put a D at the preposition.
You know what's really interesting about Sterling is that he is a player now who has played for Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester City,
and Arsenal,
and the Arsenal,
and QPR, and QPR.
Well, and QPR, right? But I'm just saying, though,
CV.
It is very interesting to say that he's played for four of the the big six here, basically.
Oh yeah, not many people do it.
Not many people you would say would do that.
Jadon Sancho is only one behind, by the way.
Yeah. Oh my God! Did you see? Did you see that take? Did you see the PR take that they did, people? I don't know if you guys saw this in the chat. I don't know if you saw this on the panel, but they did a PR interview with Jadon Sancho, and Sancho talked about his new coach, right? And
Enzo
how
Cappuccino or something, whatever his name is.
He basically said in the interview, and Lee, you've got to hear this, please. You got to hear this. He said in the interview that he knows this coach, back when he was in City, and he was happy, and they had the conversation, and he knew this coach back when he was at City, and they had a good relationship.
Really?
Sancho was at City in 2017.
Yeah, I know what's coming here. I knew what was coming as soon as you said it.
This coach joined City in 2020.
Yeah, I knew as soon as you said that. I knew as soon as you said it. I could hear what was coming.
What are you talking about, dude?
We always used to have great chats in the canteen. Me and old Enzo, he was great crack. No, dude, like you were gone 2 years before that guy even arrived. Yeah.
You weren't even with the team, dude. It wasn't even like a close changeover. It was 3 years of a difference.
I want them to follow it up with an interview and say, what you're on about there, mate. And he goes, well, there was some bald fella there who looked a bit like him. Some bald foreign fella.
Yeah, talked a lot about tactics.
Yeah, he could have been like, that was before LASIK surgery, I guess. Yeah. Like he had to get his eyes fixed apparently because he's been calling this guy a name that he wasn't.
Yeah,
that is just pure.
No, that would be hilarious if he genuinely thought he was there, but he had mistaken it for someone else. That would be even funnier.
Yeah.
If he's like, hang on, you mean that's not Enzo? He's like, no, you were talking to Juan Garcia. He's like, shit, I thought Juan Garcia was Enzo Maresca. No, dude.
No.
Shit. No. I've been calling Juan Enzo for the last 4 years. Yeah.
It's just sad, dude. It's like
these bald Spanish guys talking about tactics.
I don't know whose PR people are, but geez, you'd think you would have had that conversation before going on. I know you want to say this. I know you want to say you have a connection to this coach, but you don't. Just let it go. I know this coach is coach for Pep, but you weren't there. Not even close. Let it go.
I mean, that's some Spanish racial profiling right there, man. Yeah, all these Spanish coaches, they look the same. Come on, what can I do?
Yeah. That's sad. That was sad.
That's funny, man. That is funny.
But but Raheem Sterling is now apparently trying to collect all the big 6 Infinity Stones, as they would probably be called, out there. He has 4 of them so far. So, I know Manchester United was a team that, he kind of was interested in going to as well. So, maybe he does collect all the stones. Maybe he will. I don't know if he'd ever go to I don't know if he'd ever go to Spurs, if that's even
Well, I think he's a lot more likely to end up at Spurs than he is to end up at Manchester United.
You think?
I think. Well, I don't. He's in London now. I can't see him staying or.
I get the connection. I get the connection.
In a year's time, if he was to leave Arsenal,
right?
I'd put a tenner on Spurs probably being a better destination than Man United,
right?
And probably being able to pay just as much money. So would he go all the way back up to Manchester just to play for them?
Mm-hmm.
If he can stay there, I think he could collect. Yeah, he won't play. I mean, he might do it just for the crack, as it were. Just to have played for all of them. But
pause on that. I don't even know.
Yeah, I really don't know.
We're not saying that he's doing it for crack, by the way.
No, that crack. That crack.
Yeah.
That crack. Okay. It changes everything. When you call it that crack.
Yeah, there you go.
Or shits and giggles, as people used to say about 20 years ago.
Yeah. Shits, laughs, and giggles. Another player that has made the move recently.
Oh yeah, the former Liverpool player. We were on a Liverpool things.
Coutinho is now back in Brazil on loan with Vasco.
Yes,
his fifth club since leave. It's now his 5th club since leaving Anfield in 2018. That is pretty crazy. 5th club. His 5th club that he's trying to make a real stay with.
I have
Liverpool's youngest ever goal scorer. Can anyone name Liverpool's youngest ever goal scorer? Question. Can anyone in the chat name Liverpool's youngest ever goal scorer? That's the name of this next player.
Jerome Sinclair?
No.
Or Jordan Ibe?
No.
Okay. Vasco da Gama, just by the way, Coutinho has gone back to probably
Brazil,
one of the only clubs in the world named after a serial killer. So yeah.
Okay. I wasn't expecting that one. Okay. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Was it Woody? Was it Woodburn?
Yes, it was.
Oh yeah, slow man. That man, talk about watching someone.
Bernie got it first, actually, but yes.
Oh, he is the slowest professional footballer I've ever seen in my life. Someone who actually appeared to get slower as they tried to run faster. Incredible. Yes. Unbelievable.
Liverpool's youngest ever goal scorer, Ben Woodburn, is playing his trade in League 2 with Salford City.
Oh, has he? Yes. He's gone to the old the Beckham boys, the Neville boys. That's still them, right?
Let me say
that's
this
their
too.
team, right? That's the Neville team, right? The class
I don't know.
There's one called
Salford FC. Yeah, that's I think. Yeah, that's the team that's owned by Gary Neville and Phil Neville and Beckham
all that in it as well, isn't he? Something.
Yeah. The guy that fucked up Valencia was in it at the start. Peter Lim. He ended up in prison, so But that's the class of '92 team is Salford FC. Yeah, so
let me say
Pops,
this too.
Like Pops was saying, he's playing his trade with the Manx.
Yeah, let me say this too. I know Bayesian Pops. I was shout out to Bayesian Reds, by the way. They had a show. I remember back. It's been a while since the show was on. I think it was during the summertime that this particular episode was on. Had a panel, and a young man was making his defense of why he wasn't a Klopp fan because of this particular player. And I know my phone's going off. Sorry. And that is
that messed up what you just said. What did you say again?
Yeah, Mamadou Sakho is.
Oh, mama.
Yes. After 7 months without a club, former defender Mamadou Sakho has joined Georgian side Torpedo.
What? Jesus.
Kutasi.
Wow. Wow.
My apologies. So for the young man that was saying how Mamadou Sakho was an
What a
important
nutcase.
piece of the pie as to why we were not able to achieve greatness under Klopp.
What must he be now? 35? I'm going to guess.
Gotta be
35.
at least that, hasn't
I
he?
mean, I don't think he's 40. I mean, I reckon he's younger than Thiago Silva. I mean, yeah, like
Yeah. Gotta be at
I
least
mean,
36 because he left us like 10 years ago
34.
and he was 20.
34. Yeah, he's not like he is the youngest ever captain of Paris Saint-Germain. He was
He was
made captain of Paris Saint-Germain at 17.
Yeah. Don't fall out
Like
with your coaches, people. Try to
yeah,
keep
no,
them in good graces
he was like one of
because
those
it's been a
guys.
long
Wow.
ride down.
Yeah, no, we got our money back twice from two of our biggest failed transfers from that era. One was Sacco, where I think we might have even made a profit on selling Sacco, who we had frozen out of the team, which was one of our early kind of little moments. And then we got the same back for Benteke. I think we got our money back from them for Benteke as well. But Sacco was an absolute lunatic. I mean, on his day, Beckenbauer with like more strength and speed. Unbelievable. But then the next day, a total car crash.
I don't know if we got. I don't know if we had a. Did we have a? I don't know if we had a sell-on clause for this player or not. But Luis Alberto, who only played 12 games.
That's long gone. That's long. We sold him about 8 years ago. Any clause on him is long gone.
He's long gone. Okay. As I was saying in this article,
He's been
it says
brilliant.
something about like the bank is another to bank the club profit after completing a 10 million euro transfer from Lazio to Al Hilal.
Maybe. Well, we sold him to Lazio a very long time ago. So maybe if that's actually still in effect. But sometimes what would have happened is players would have signed new contracts. But Luis Alberto was very highly rated when he came here. He was one of the Danny Pacheco, Suso, Luis Alberto Pacheco. Luis Alberto went to Italy and was, in terms of GA, one of the highest performing players in Europe over 6 to 8 years. He was brilliant for Lazio.
There was a move.
Huge numbers.
There was a move to Abu Dhabi for a player whose first name was probably more spectacular than his play for us. And that is for Lazar Markovic. Lazar's a great name. That's a really cool name, I think.
Yeah, Markovic is even better.
Yeah. But who has now signed for 5 clubs since permanently leaving Anfield in 2019. He is now playing for FC Banyas. FC Banyas.
I missed something. Someone's just saying sorry to hear that, Marianne. I missed whatever the comment was. So
no, I didn't see that.
Marianne sent wish you well. Hopefully you can get. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry. Yeah, I missed the comment. So Marianne, whatever is definitely. I don't know. I missed your comment. I don't know. Is something bad?
Oh, no. We certainly hope that Marianne's got something. If there's something.
She might have had a fall or an injury or something by the sound of it.
Okay.
But if you have hurt yourself, I don't know. I missed the comment. Sorry.
Whatever the
but
case
everyone's
is,
wishing her well. So
I wish you well.
Yeah.
And definitely better health. Of always. Always. You know we walk with you. We always walk with you. So. I was also going to tell you about. Remember Sebastian Coates?
Yeah, Coates. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Coates.
He is now with Nacional. Nacional.
Another player, Nacional. Yeah.
Last team's coach is hanging on that leg now, is it? Like in that dressing room.
Oof, nerve damage in her feet. Sorry, Marianne. That sounds nasty. Sorry. Nerve damage in your feet.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Wish you the
Yeah,
best. Wish you the best, Marion.
he had a good career after he left us at Sporting Lisbon.
Mm-hmm.
He did have a good career. I remember
Mm-hmm.
we bought him. He was the I talk about it like, a lot of
Didn't he
times when
play in the tournament, like just at the campus or something? Young player of the tournament.
exactly, yeah. I was just that's what I was saying. We bought him. He was golden boy in the Copa for Uruguay. He was best young player at the tournament. Like I was saying, like back in the day, that was like when we couldn't buy like the finished article, best player in the world. So you're always going out trying to buy those. Oh, next best or this guy in 4 years guy will be something special,
I loved
and
his
he was one of them.
that away game at QPR where he done that scissor kick and he got up.
Yeah,
That was magic.
he was a great player. It just didn't work out from us here. He just went. It just one of those. Yeah, you buy him as an 18-year-old centre half and expect him to be the next Maldini in 6 years. Like in 6 years, you've gone through 3 different managers. It's like who's that guy at the back? Hi, I'm Sebastian. Centre half. Nice to meet you. This kind of thing. Like it just then he goes off to Sporting Lisbon. The same with Gabriel Paletta, who was another guy that we bought, an Argentinian centre half, young guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was a failure for us apparently, but yeah, of course we bought him when he was like 20 to play centre half in the Premier League. Because we were trying to bank on these guys being really good in the future. But it didn't work out. But he went off. Another one had a really good career, but took him about like 6 years to recover. He ended up going to like crappy clubs.
Another player that went off had a decent career. Actually, won a major title. Actually, won a Europa on his own with another club over in Spain. Alberto Moreno and Pepe Reina actually were both free agents after being released by Villarreal, and they've made identical transfers to Serie A new boys Como.
Yeah, Como were going nuts, man. Como were going nuts.
Yeah,
they were taken over by Berlusconi and this other people with money. That's Monza. No, sorry, that was Monza. That's Monza.
You want to talk about some old heads?
Pepe is 38. No, 39.
Nope.
40.
You want to take a guess, Lee? How old Pepe Reina is?
41.
Bingo, on the nose.
Yeah,
Good
41.
job.
Yeah.
41.
Talk about someone who's played for everybody. He's played for AC Milan. He's played for Napoli. He's played for Villarreal. He's played for Barcelona. He's played for Liverpool. He's played for other that guy just didn't want to stop playing football, and he still hasn't stopped. I love Pepe Reina.
Oh gosh, there's a name on here that's funny to see, but the team he plays for is even harder to pronounce. Ujana Hover, excuse me, is on to his fourth different loans since signing for Wolves in 2020. He's now joining Ligue 1 Auxerre. While Ben Davies is going on loan to Birmingham. And Steve Kolker is going to Ankara, Ankara. And
he's still over in Turkey. Yeah, Ankara is club in Turkey. Kolker went out to Turkey years ago. Most of those players, they go there for like 6 months and they get out. Yeah. Kolker stayed there. It's crazy.
Yeah, he stayed there, yeah. A name that Brendan Rodgers had a lot of us thinking was going to be the truth. And is, do you guys have a guess of who I'm going to say? By any chance?
Well, who Brendan thought was going to be the business.
This player was someone that Brendan hyped up as going to be a very influential player for us.
We hyped up everybody apart from Mario.
This player in particular, I remember being someone that he was very, very high on, and gave some vaunted chances to perform. Benteke, I like it. Some good guesses. Barry, yeah. I'll give it to you. John Joe Shelby. He was
John.
hyped about John Joe Shelby. He did a couple of interviews where he's talking about him specifically, and yeah, John Joe. That he
What a
talked
waste.
about like he's not a serial killer, but he could play one on TV because he was a scary looking individual.
Nosferatu, isn't it?
Nosferatu was the joke with him, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. The baldy vampire. What an absolute, like, one decent 40-yard pass, you know, every 3 games. Oh, he's the next Alonso. I mean, that guy, him, Charlie Adam. Oh, it just shows, you know, when you look at people today, they just need to look at those kind of players. Even just, you know, I just go, look, that is not the 60s. That's not the 70s. That's people who are still playing that were at our club. You know, it could be, if you trace a line back to that and show me, we've done nothing but improve. Like, we had like that Roy Hodgson team that's one of the worst teams we've ever had to endure. And that's not that long ago.
That was torture. A torturous experience.
Charlie Adam, John Joe Shelby.
I don't know how to pronounce this, but EYUPSPOR, Iupsor, maybe.
Oh, Aspor, yeah, it's always like Aspor or something a spore. It's always that, yeah.
That's who John Joe is with right now. Also,
can't even get a Saudi deal. That just shows you how bad he is. He can't even get like Coutinho. Like, everybody thought Coutinho a year ago not a year ago, but before he went to Vasco, everybody thought he'd gone to Saudi. He didn't even go to Saudi. He went to Qatar and going what they call the Qatar Stars League, which, yeah, I'm not saying he got good money. He didn't get good money, but there wasn't even a Saudi club that was looking to pick up Coutinho. I'm glad he's back in Brazil.
Yeah. So this is and please do stick with us towards the end, because I have a couple of moments of zen for you guys at the end. Some cool little clips here. But Derry City, Derry, Derry City FC, City of Sign, former Liverpool, Derby County, RB Salzburg, and Washington Town defender, a player that I did think was a good player for us. I thought I did have high hopes for him, and that is Andre Wisdom. Andre Wisdom is now with the Derry City. Or Derry?
Derry. Derry.
I said it right.
Yeah, Derry.
Yeah.
Derry. Andre Wisdom, he, out of that group that we were just talking about, he was one of them with Ibe and Sinclair and all of that. And he actually got one season. Wisdom was one of the closest to making it. He got one season where he actually played about maybe close to 30 games in all comps.
He played a lot, yeah. He
played a lot.
That's right.
Yeah, and then just Klein maybe came in, might have been after that. And then Klein, and then you got Trent or whatever. But out of like the Ibes and the Sinclairs, who were supposed to be the next Sterlings, they never really played for us at all. But actually, Andre Wisdom did get one real solid season. And then he got he did. He got a proper move to Derby when they were like trying to be an ambitious club. Well, he hasn't, out of all of them guys from that, but he's probably had one of the best careers. I think.
Games for us that season when he played a lot.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's a good player.
He's a good player. I thought he was a good player. Very good. Yeah. Camille Gabara, right? Went to Wolfsburg. Liam Muller went to Hull. Andy, or no wait, Yasir Larucci.
Left back. Yasser Larucci, he's a left back.
Went to Watford. Shamal George went to Wycombe. Wickham. Yeah, Wickham. and Wycombe. Okay.
Yeah, Wycombe. I was like, which fucking Georgian club is Wycombe?
Yeah,
What the
there you
fuck?
go, Wycombe. Yeah, and that's all the names I have. And I do have those names. There are names like from a lot of leagues and countries represented. If you want to hear the former youth players that went on, but I mean, yeah. What's kind of interesting is Adam Morgan went to the city of Liverpool. I didn't know that's interesting too.
Hang on, what?
That's the name of the team, City of Liverpool.
Is there a new team, Lee, in the city called the City of Liverpool? Is that a thing?
I know.
I know, that's what was interesting.
Have you ever heard of the city?
It says Adam Morgan, City of Liverpool, as his new team. I mean, I don't know if he's working as like, maybe he's like a assistant mayor. I don't know, or something. I don't know,
yeah, I think maybe he's cutting the grass.
Yeah, right. I don't know,
Adam
but it
Morgan,
says City of Liverpool as his new team.
Right. Okay,
I mean,
that sounds to me. That's probably non-league. He's probably joined a non-league team. Basically,
yes, it probably is.
Yeah, he's joined a non-league team there. Is what he's done. Yeah. And City of Liverpool. Not about. That's a fancy name. Good, fair play. It was a fancy name for a non-league team. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they're only like 2 years old or something. Let's just call ourselves City of Liverpool.
I wanted to show you something that was funny to see here. I want to include this and bring it up here.
Oh, they're Garston. Okay, Bernie. You know Garston, Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Garston. Apparently, it's Garston. They've just changed their name to City of Liverpool. Yeah, I've heard of Garston.
Cool.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Shout out to Bernie. Definitely. Bernie's always got our back. I appreciate that, big. Definitely. Let me show you guys this. This is like a little moment of zen here. So this was an interview where they interviewed. It's only like a few seconds, so I don't think we'll get like clipped or hit with it.
Oh, the Welsh Shavy, Pops. The Welsh Shavy. Don't ever forget about the Welsh Shavy. Death by football. Death by football. Do you remember it? You remember Brendan was saying it's going to be death by football? And we're bringing in the Welsh Shavy. I mean, Brendan, just calm down, baby. Please, just calm down.
Bring it down a little.
Yeah. Bring it down. But no, he never could. He never could, Brendan. It's just like, that was massive hype, but only from the fucking manager. There was no Liverpool out there going, well, okay, I mean, he's neat and tidy, but don't tell me we just brought in the Welsh Shavy. But I don't know, some people might have. It was intoxicating talk at the time, or we're going to dominate. But as I always like, I just wanted to
bring this up. This was a funny clip. This is something that was. He's your man. Yeah. Basically, there's an argument to say if Virgil van Dijk is one of, if not the greatest center back of the Premier League era, and often another man that is considered to be in that mention of that title, Rio, had something to say. So he was given a lie detector test and asked this question. So I'm going to play this for you guys. It was kind of funny when I saw this. Let me bring it up here for full screen. So here we go.
Virgil van Dijk. Do you look at him and think,
wait,
he's better than
I'll make it.
Virgil van Dijk. Do you look at him and think, he's better than me,
No.
I knew it. I knew it.
Okay, that's all I wanted to show. That's all I wanted to show you.
I like that.
That's all I wanted to show you. He's trying to play it off because there was the time we did an actual center, Mount Rushmore of center backs, basically, because there was a thing that Virgil van Dijk was on with Rio on his podcast, and they did a depiction of who they thought were the top 5 center backs in the Premier League era. And I don't think that they both gave their top 5, but Virgil didn't put himself in the top 5, I think, just to be humble, but Rio did put himself in the top 5.
Rio puts
and
himself
Rio,
number
of course,
one.
put himself as number 1.
Yeah, no, that's not news. That's Rio. Like Rio Ferdinand ranking himself first and stuff is literally his brand.
Mhm.
That's what he does. He just comes out and goes, "Yeah, I was the best." That's his whole fucking vibe. Virgil will come out and go, "Oh, look, I'll be respectful." Rio is just like, "Yeah, Virg, shut the fuck up, man. Stop calling it." He'd be like, "Virg, you should be saying I'm number 1." Like, because the best partnership, like Virgil, if you want to go down different routes, but the best partnership would be him and Rio in the Premier League year at their peak.
Oh,
A
yeah, that would have
partnership
been
with them
amazing.
two.
Yeah, that would be
That
amazing.
would be,
Yeah.
so they are both basically number 1. I think they're both like the 2 best in their position, in a 2-man position. And then you've got a million other players who are unbelievable. But if you're going to pick one, Virgil on the left, Rio on the right, that's about as good as it gets. But Rio would always say, "Yeah, look, I'm number 1. Who are the other 4?" Or "I'm number 1. Who's the other 2?" The guy broke the British transfer record twice before he was 23 as a centre half. The guy has all the medals. The guy has everybody out there saying he was as good as everybody. So before he went to United, he's at Leeds. I would have taken him all day. We would have had our original VVD. But the 2 of them, I think, is the peak of Premier League VVD.
Neville and Roy Keane said last week Rio was better than Verge.
Yeah, they're Man United players. Come on, people.
Yeah, no surprise there, as Bernie said as well.
I don't expect them to say anything else. And he was fabulous.
Exactly.
Especially
but they wouldn't be wrong either.
For teammate, yeah.
No, but it's not like they're out there saying that
there could be an argument,
that Johnny Evans was better than VVD. Like Rio, if you're talking about ability, him and Bird probably
they can make an argument for that.
Par. But they're on a par, right? In terms of ability, they're both as good as each other. But Rio has like 18 trophies and stuff. So yeah, look,
Rio was.
So if you're talking about like,
absolutely.
Yeah, so if you're talking about who's better, Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali? I mean, can we have them both?
Let's have them both. I would ask the question. I know we're all Reds here, so we all know who we would take if we had to pick.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You did. But like Lee said, why are you surprised that the 2 Man United guys picked the Man United guy?
No.
That's what they're going. Of course, they're going to do that. That's what.
This is the last bit of Zen that I wanted to share with you guys here. This is actually So I remember I asked you guys what was your feel good moment, and there was periods and points where we were excellent, playing well and the likes, but there were times when there were elements of our game that weren't exactly common elements that we get to see the team play, and this was one of them. I wanted to share this with you guys. Make sure I get it to play. This wasn't this is wait, hold on, it's clipping up for some reason. Hold on, let me break it down again. Let me make sure that's going to play for us because it's
just play it for 10 seconds. Just play it and then drag it back. Let it play for a second and then drag it back.
Let me see. I'm going to refresh it too.
Ooh. Let's have an argument about Ballon d'Or. I love those ones. The world's most working competition.
Yeah, the Ballon d'Or shit.
Ballon, does anybody care? Yeah, I'm gonna trade. Yeah, the Ballon, does anybody care? I'm trademarking that. Nobody's taking that. I said that first. The Ballon, does anybody care? Nobody does. I've already overdone it, haven't I? Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So we're ready. Let me play this for you guys here. This was something I thought was really cool to see. I'm not gonna play the sound. It's just them saying "Ole." But what's so great about this clip, for me at least, was just the sheer fact of like the
I love
passing.
that last pass there.
This,
Yeah, but no, but that second
yep,
last one there, where it's just like,
yep.
if you watch it, I'll show you the one I mean now. I'll call it when I mean it. Play it again. The pass that
Mm-hmm.
for me,
Yeah,
I'll
oh, it's
call it
playing
when I
again.
see it, right?
It's one.
Yeah, yeah. The one I mean, right? Which is that pass. The one that goes back out again. They think they're after
Yeah.
working it inside. And they're, oh, they work this
Mm-hmm.
inside now. And he goes, that's the most intelligent pass in that move. Because that's so bait and switch. That is so bait and switch. Because we're working
Yep.
in. Oh, they worked this in. That. Oh, they gone back outside. They were not expecting that one. That was the one they weren't expecting. And that is such a fucking clever pass.
Yep.
It's
McAllister's great.
just, yeah.
Yep.
It makes them turn again.
Yep.
The best thing you can do to any footballer that you're up against is to make them turn in a direction that they were previously not moving, because that then makes them off balance. That gives you at least 2 seconds, and we shifted their entire defense, most of their team, into one area, pushed them right back into the middle, and as soon as they thought, oh, okay, it's going this way now, bang, we went the other way. They had to turn again. That's where the cutthroat comes from. If we hadn't played that ball there, that is so intelligent, that type of football. It really is. It's absolutely, like, that's fantastic to see, because that's where the intelligence is. And we made them look like idiots. We made them look like total idiots.
Yeah. And it was one of those moments where, yeah, go ahead, Lee.
That was an excellent clip. Yeah, it was really good to watch. That, wasn't it? From that angle, like
it's good to see from the stands what it looks like as well. Sometimes,
yeah.
You see that big shot, but to see what what
you get
actually
to see
some
a
of the
lot of the
players are seeing.
field. You get to see, you get to see, you get to kind of see it from perspective as if you're almost at the game yourself. There were that moment for me. That's what I mentioned as being my real feel good moment when they were just, they could have been
Imagine that 6 or 7 times a game
or something.
Oh. And can I just be like the world's most boring dad for 5 seconds? As you were talking about the Olays, you're talking about the Olays there.
Yeah.
There's everybody knows like the ole, where that comes where you're passing around the place. That exists. If you ever stood and shouted at a game, that's because of the Brazilian player Mazinho. There's a Brazilian player called Mazinho who came into the World Cup when Pelé was injured, and he was called I think he was called the Joy of the People. He is the reason that he is the first player that ever had Olays shouted at him. That whole thing of shouting Ole is because of Mazinho, a Brazilian player from the 50s. He is the reason that people today are still shouting that. That's one guy. That guy has a legacy. He doesn't. No one remembers him these days, but he was as good as Pele, they said. But that whole thing came about because of him. And I was thinking about that today when we were talking about that, like that ole thing. To have it, that's a legacy. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because that guy Mazinho is just one of those forgotten geniuses. But that is literally, they invented that whole ole thing just for him, just for one guy. I thought that's kind of cool.
Nice little like history note right there. Big up for that. Big up for that. Hope that you guys enjoyed your 2 little moments of zen hearing Rio get called out for lying and not admitting that he thinks that DVD is a
Court
better
TV.
On TV.
Court TV. Real for that.
And then you
I
have
was just sorry. No, when you said it, I was just like, did they have the balls to ask him? Did you really forget you had a drug test that day? I mean, I was.
yeah, that would be
one.
like
Yeah. No, interview ends here. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that was and the last bit right there was Liverpool's version of Ole 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 against our Red Devil foe. So I thought I'd leave you with a little bit of something to kind of like, get your step and groove, get your Stella's groove back a little bit right there.
Best moments of Zen is what you told us about Sancho's PR. Rival at Chelsea, mate, that's just hilarious, man.
It's hilarious. I know, man. It's like one of those things where you're like, come on, man. Really?
But yeah, taking it on that step to who does he think like it actually was? Who is it he's remembering? Who is this bald man that he remembers like when he was there? Which one?
It's his first interview.
He wore a tracksuit. He had shoes. He was that guy. He's like, I was sure it was Enzo Maresca. He was, he was in the canteen every day.
First interview as a Chelsea Blue, and he's making up BS, lying like the Blues do. Oh my goodness! I'll tell you what's really funny too, is that there was
at least he didn't do the "it was always my dream to play for Chelsea" thing.
Well, at least he didn't do that. Yeah. I was going to say, well, even if it was his dream to play for the team, what's very, very interesting is that Chelsea, despite getting Sancho and despite letting go of Sterling, they are in essence paying Chelsea to play Sterling. And what's sad about it is because you would have thought, oh well, you know what, Sterling, he's making so much money, so you got to get rid of that book, you got to get rid of that wage. The wage that they took on by taking on Sancho is more than they would have been paying Sterling, and on top of that, they're paying half of Sterling's wage with Chelsea. So Chelsea is in essence spending more money with Sancho.
It's a big bill, that.
Oh yeah, any player that goes out on loan, they're not taking a cut. So it's either you're paying it, I'm paying, whoever it is, someone's paying it. That's his contract. So yeah, that's standard. But I don't really know, like you were saying, with them taking on Sancho, how that gives them some kind of leeway in the books. Because it would have been great. Like, let's just say they're paying Sterling $325, right?
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal are going to give him 100, right? So that's $100,000 a week off their books, right? Okay, fine. But to then go and bring in a Sancho, who I would imagine is on a kind of similar scenario. He's on 325. He's on 325.
A little bit more. Yeah.
Oh, pretty much bang on what Sterling makes, right? So, but Man United are in the same position. They haven't sold Sancho. They've loaned them. So they will be paying a portion of his wages. So it's just how much of Sancho's wages are Manchester United paying.
It's not, it's not. It's
if there's a 50K,
the point is the trade-off was more in the favor of Arsenal.
Of Arsenal, yeah. So, well, basically, it's all in the kind of the lesser of for Chelsea, Like they're either going to be paying 50K or 100K. You know, it
Right.
just in either way, they're like Man United are not going to be giving them a Sancho and saying, "Oh yeah, but it's okay, we'll pay 90% of his wages." They're
Right.
like, "Okay, you can have Sancho, but you're paying half his fucking wages, which is
Right.
325." Whereas, yeah, you've managed to give Arsenal Sterling, but they only have to pay 100K, which
Right.
means you're still in for 225 on Sterling, and you're in for Sancho at maybe 250.
Mm.
So
Do you
you're
think
still, yeah, it's insanity. It's
Chelsea, I
You
think
there,
they've sold
Brian?
a couple of hotels.
Yeah,
Chelsea.
yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah. That's pretty sad too. By the way, they have finally. They have. I know that it was already a story before, but apparently they have
Oh, the hotel, the Chelsea
approved.
hotel.
Yeah, they have approved that officially today that
Oh,
that them selling the hotels is a way for them to get out of
look,
the
we all
FFP.
have a hotel we can sell. Look, we've all sold hotels in the past to
Right.
get
Yeah.
out of attack. You know, let's not judge. We've all sold a hotel. You know, that's perfectly normal to get away with shit. That's totally football related. That's cool.
So
Let's
sad.
not judge. Let's not judge. My God, man. I mean, come on, like.
So sad.
Eventually, something's going to pop, right? Eventually, something's going to go. I think they're going to sell probably pretty quick, maybe once they put a load of things in place, and some other guy comes in and go, "Oh, I'll give you 3 billion for that." I don't imagine they're going to be around very long because they're doing some
Oh, man. I'll
crazy
share
stuff.
with you. Yeah, I'll share with you tomorrow. We're already on the tarmac here in the Liverpool, just chilling with you guys. But I'll share with you a cool picture tomorrow of Rio. Really cool picture. He's the new player. Speaking of Chelsea, the new player that has joined Liverpool officially now. And he said his goodbyes to his former club and appreciations for them, but now is a Liverpool player. It's a very cool picture. It's actually a picture of him in his Liverpool kit because Rio was a Liverpool fan as a child, and he's meeting Sadio Mane actually in the picture, I believe.
Hi, Jimmy.
So it's actually a really cool pic. Big up to Jimmy, by the way. Big up Jimmy. I'm gonna share that with you guys though. Tomorrow, since tomorrow will be Friday, be a little TGIF. So should be a fun time. Is there anything you want to say to people before we allow for them to enjoy the rest of the Thursday? Irishman, sorry.
No, just see. Thanks for being here, and see you again tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh, and hit like. I don't think we told anybody to like the thing yet, so like the thing.
Yeah. And also, Lee, do you have something to say to the people?
Yes, thanks. Thanks for staying up and taking part, everyone. See you again.
Okay. And for me, it is all love as well. Big up to each and every one of you for joining us, riding out for this 2-hour flight in the Liverbird here. It's always fun to see the numbers and see the numbers, peak and rise for us throughout the entire broadcast. And I can't say enough how much I do appreciate the fact that you guys, show up. You drop the likes, you give comments, you engage with the conversation, you answer tough questions when they're asked, and that's only what I would expect from the best fan base in the world, and that is my Mighty Reds. So we will see you tomorrow. We'll have a show lined up for you. Already got some fun topics to talk about for tomorrow. Like I said, I got some fun little pictures and maybe even a video here or there for you guys to enjoy. And I guess until tomorrow, as always, people, up the Reds, people, up the Reds. And we'll see you soon. All right, take care.